Hello. Hi. If you are watching this video, this means I committed to restarting my YouTube channel again.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm! What?
Oh my god, this is so scary. This is low-key kind of stressful. Hi, my name is Saint Virgil, and this is the first episode of a journey I have been wanting to take for a very, very, very long time.
I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first, Lucian.
You see, I have been existing online, posting about my favorite music, my favorite books, articles, physical media to do with music on various platforms like Instagram, TikTok, but I started noticing something as I was posting that if it wasn't about something trending, something hot, something new, something fresh, something popping, nobody gave a damn.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
People just didn't care. And honestly, that was a little exhausting. And so I've decided to create this YouTube as a space for me to have an echo chamber, to just talk about things I love without any expectations. And so welcome to the series I am calling The Listening Room, a space to truly slow down and reconnect with music, regardless of when it came out, because I believe that in the age of information overload that we're in right now, the ultimate luxury is meaning and context, and that is something I'm truly committed to bringing to YouTube. And so me restarting this account was no little feat. This is not slight work. It's that deep for me, okay? I was like, I'm not gonna add to the noise if I'm gonna restart this thing. So I'll be sharing my favorite tracks, my favorite albums, my favorite books, paraphernalia. Let's not forget physical media, all the things in the musical lexicon and things to do with music that I find interesting and obviously I feel like would be interesting to you too. And so if you think that's something you would be into, welcome aboard and stay for the ride. Let's get started. Welcome to the first ever episode of The Listening Room. I've got my emotional support squishmallow, some coconut water for hydration and electrolytes. Let's get started with my weekly repeats. What has Saint Virgil had on repeat lately? Don't the people want to know? First up is Choke Enough by Oklou. I must say, qu'est-ce qui se passe en France? Because girl, je suis obsessed with this album. Everyone who follows me on Instagram and TikTok knows I've posted about this album every single day since it came out. I am obsessed. I have listened to it an ungodly amount of times. I know for sure it's going to be on my Spotify Wrapped. It's that good. And it's only February, so. I felt like her vocals were very light and airy. The production felt very expansive yet intimate at the same time. The album itself is just beautiful. And my two favorite tracks, Bladebird and Choke Enough. Bladebird was very haunting and nostalgic. And to be honest, I have not loved an album like this in a very long time. Simply breathtaking. No notes. Carry on is what I'm going to say to Oklou. Next up is Electric Prunes by The Electric Prunes. With this album, I felt like it was such a mixed bag because when it hit, it really hit hard. And then when it didn't, I was like, oh my God, what was happening in the studio? My favorite track was I Had Too Much to Dream. It was a psychedelic classic, definitely that vibe and sound from the 60s. And I felt like it deserved the hype. But overall, I really felt like the album was kind of just all over the place stylistically, Like there were songs here and there and you're like, okay, what's the through thread here? You know what I'm saying? I think the chaos of this album is probably what gave it its charm and why I am talking to you about it and why it was on my weekly repeats. Nothing lands, if I'm being honest with you, but when it does, it's pure magic. Go and experience this album for yourself and let me know what you think. Next up, we're gonna take a little flight all the way to China. I've been scrolling on Xiaohongshu for the past 5 years, okay? I am not new to this. And so I've been discovering a lot of Chinese artists through Xiaohongshu, and I'm gonna talk to you about one of them today, Chestnut Bakery. And the album I've had on my weekly repeats is Diaries. This album to me felt very dreamy, nostalgic, featherlight, almost like 90s UK indie pop but with a modern twist. My favorite track on this album is Moon Place. It builds up from this like soft dream to this like epic emotional climax, and it's simply just a beautiful piece of music, and the whole album really truly felt like floating on a cloud. And so if you want to experience that, please go ahead and check it out. And then last but not least, we're gonna head over on a little flight to Kyoto, Japan. Another album I've had on my weekly repeats is Laughing by the End of Summer. I felt like this album was very raw. It was emotional emo, but like not sad, like Midwest emo sad. There's a lot of bittersweet nostalgia to it. A standout track for me was Even Now. It's packed with emotion within just 2 minutes. Overall, I felt like the album itself was just honest, loud, very raw, and it hits you in the feels. You know, it gets you in the feels. When I listened to this album, I was about to get my period. And so that could have influenced my reaction to it. However, if you would like to experience it for yourself, go and check it out and let me know what you think of it in the comments. That is what I've been listening to the past 3 weeks as I have been plotting, planning, creating this plan to come back on YouTube and share with you all. Next up, we're going to talk about some articles and also sharing some physical media that's tickled my fancy in the past 3 weeks. For this week's weekly share on the listening room, I don't have an article to share, however, I do have some physical media. I'm gonna save the best for last. Let's start off with these 2 CDs I picked up for $1 each. Ah! Oh my god! The Writing's on the Wall by Destiny's Child. My favorite Destiny's Child album. Okay, Bills is on here. Bugaboo is on here. A bugaboo, a bugaboo. Love this album. The Celts by my muse, Enya. For $1? Like, thank you to whoever felt like they didn't need this, because I needed this in my life. I love Enya. Everyone who knows me knows this is my muse. I plan on buying a castle in the middle of Scotland and living with my cats, sleeping over there, happily ever after because of this woman. I can't wait to listen to it. Last but not least is this cassette tape. The Diana Ross and the Supremes 25th anniversary double cassette tape. Now, I found this as I was going through the music that I had received from my father when he passed away. And I was like, oh, it's a normal cassette tape. You know, I'm just like I usually do archive stuff that I've gotten from him ever since he passed. I was like, oh, normal 2 double cassette tape. No. You wanna know what else was in here? Photo cards. Isn't this insane? And they're double-sided. I know I should not be holding this with my hands like this. However, this is a piece of history that I just could not share with you all. As someone who is also into K-pop, I have so many photo cards. And so seeing this, I was like, wait, we've been doing photo cards for a really, really long time. And it's just so cool to see how Motown was just so ahead of the curve in terms of marketing and fan engagement in the late 60s, early 70s. Like, they were on top of that. And now you see kind of like the remnants of that, or actually the system itself being adapted now within K-pop and all the photo cards, and now how like people's prized possessions are these photo cards of random K-pop idols holding random objects. I have a couple. So yeah, this is all I wanted to share with you in terms of physical media I've picked up recently and wanted to share with you all. And that wraps up the first ever episode of The Listening Room, where we have a weekly repeat section and then a weekly share section where I share articles and physical media. If this format feels a little funky, I might change it up later on. However, I just wanted to get started and get something going. So I'm really excited to be more consistent and doing this more frequently, weekly, which is a big commitment that I've made to myself. However, I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna stick to it and I'm gonna do it for the whole year and see what happens. So I'm very excited to be going on this journey with you all. I don't even know if anyone's gonna watch these videos. quite frankly, I don't care because this is my ether and my wall to be throwing spaghetti at and seeing what sticks and what doesn't. So, with that, I say stay noisy, my friends. Thank you for joining me. My name is St. Virgil, and I'll see you next week.